If you meet this type of woman, run away. She is dangerous. Just being with her can turn any situation into a right place, wrong time moment. So who is this woman, or who is this type of woman I'm referring to? I'm referring to someone who is a whore or slut. A whore or slut. But let me make something clear. These are derogatory terms, but they're not specified to gender. They're not specific to a gender. These are words that can be used to identify both men and women. They're not just for women. Although they're used mainly with women, men can be that too. I remember being in middle school. This guy was telling me how successful he was with women. And I literally told him, like, bro, you're a man hoe, or you're a man slut, bro. Because men are like that. It's a characteristic, whore and slut. That's a characteristic, not something specified for gender. Now let me tell you why you should run away and why she is dangerous as a whore or slut. So there's this thing called pattern recognition, right? A whore and slut isn't a bad person. You may not understand their lifestyle, but it does not make them bad internally. They can treat anybody around them well. I've encountered somebody that claims they're a whore. I thought they were a bad person at first, but that's just my ignorance. They're actually a good person. Like, they're helping other people. Doesn't make them a bad person. So when we deem someone to be a bad person because of the titles they carry, it's just our own ignorance. But let me tell you why you should be wary of whores or sluts, although they're not bad people internally. So there's this thing called pattern recognition. Essentially, pattern recognition is recognizing things that is recognizing, as the name says, patterns. Racism, for example. Racism is just a general pattern recognition. So they just notice, let me use black people, for example, people with melanin. A white man might see a black man committing a crime. And as he continues to see black people committing a crime or doing something wrong, he'll begin to believe that they're all like that. But that's more so a general pattern recognition. So essentially it's things like that. Racism, pattern recognition. You're recognizing patterns that exist in your perception. Pattern recognition, right, with a whore or a slut. The thing I've noticed with them is that they don't really tend to respect boundaries, right? Your boundaries may come off as insecurities to them. If you're out in public with a whore and she's dressing some type of way, well, she likes to dress revealing clothes, and you're like, hey, sweetie, I would like you to cover up just a little bit, like being out with me. You get me? She might think you're insecure. Like, oh, why I gotta do that to you? Like, why I gotta do so and so? You get me? These are really people, in my perception, these are really people that would throw what's boundaries to you. They might throw it as an insecurity. Like, oh, this man is insecure. Like, he can't handle a real woman like me. Stuff like that. You even notice that in people that call themselves boss bitches. It's all like a mental thing. They will throw your boundaries and call it insecurities. So that's one of the things that you can notice with a whore and a slut. Another thing is, as a man, this ties into the boundaries, but as a man, they won't respect you. A whore and a slut sleeps around. They'll sleep with any dude or sleep with any woman. So it's at the point where sex isn't anything sacred. Well, sex doesn't equal security. It gets to a point where it's like that. And when it's like that, you may honor sex and believe it's a grand thing to you, like it's sacred. But to someone that's a whore and a slut, sex is just an activity that they do. There's no meaning to it. We're just doing it, but don't mean I love you. That's the type of people they are. So if you're religious per se, and you believe that sex is sacred and should be done between marriage or someone that's really important to you, don't deal with that. Don't deal with a whore or slut. They will turn your ideology around, and they might even weaponize a lot of things that's sacred to you, like sex, intimacy. They might find a way to weaponize it against you. That's just their ideology. They don't really have morality. Although they're not bad people, they don't really have morality. So if you really encounter a whore or a slut, be wary of their character. A lot of things they do, they could use against you. For example, I don't really know the full story of Jezebel. Sometimes you'll probably hear people say, oh, this person has a Jezebel spirit. What is Jezebel? Jezebel's like, I remember her being like a whore or something like that. And she was evil to some, like she did some wicked things in the Bible, right? So when people say, oh, you have a Jezebel spirit, it's really referring to lust as well. If someone's very lustful, someone's a slut or a whore, they'll be like, oh, this person has a Jezebel spirit. So be very wary of these women and men that are whores and sluts, because they will turn your ideology around. They will turn it upside down. What is normal to you, what is sacred to you, will switch upside down. So be wary. By the way, if you're tired of failing in relationships and finally want to turn things around, message me on Facebook and I will help you. So yes, be wary of the women and men that are whores. Women get called a whore and slut a lot, but it's really just projection. Sometimes men are just so salty at the fact that a woman did something they didn't like. So they throw these words around, whore and slut. Also remember, a man can be a whore and slut as well. If you learned something new in this video, comment, I learned something new below. I'm Truthenvisioned, and I will see you next time.